At the scene of the accident, my fiancée immediately rushed to her first love, called 911, and deliberately told them there was no one else in the car, causing a delay in my rescue and costing me a leg. While she was by the scumbag and manipulative cheat's side in the hospital room. Until she knelt humbly in the snow, breaking down as she begged me, "Please, just look at me one more time." However, the accident wasn't just an accident. This time, it was my turn. It's been so long since the accident, why hasn't his fiancée come to visit? It's not like the couple next door, the woman hasn't left his side, staying up all night. Now that's what you call a perfect romance. I heard the woman almost died for Mark. Outside the hospital room, the nurse's chatter continued. Yet, my heart remained undisturbed, as calm as a still pond. Yes, a perfect romance, even I was moved by it. If the woman hadn't been my fiancée, if she hadn't abandoned me knowing I was near death myself, I probably would have been in tears too. But it's fine now. The car accident brought me to my senses completely. Someone who doesn't love you won't look back, even if you sacrifice your life. Sarah, I've decided to give up. I struggled to pick up my phone and saw a text message from Sarah. David, where are you? I know you're fine after the accident, stop pretending. You didn't even have a scratch on your head during the crash. Hurry up and contact the hospital to arrange the best doctor and hospital room. Mark's accident was all because of you. I didn't reply, she grew impatient on the other end. David, do you still think playing games is interesting at a time like this? This is a matter of life and death. Are you trying to kill Mark? If you don't get everything arranged for Mark immediately, there's no point in us getting married. I was silent for a long while, staring at the screen, lost in thought. The day Sarah agreed to marry me, we were also in a car accident. It wasn't serious, there was no blood, but I had a minor fracture in my lower leg. She was beside herself with worry. No matter how I tried to persuade her, she insisted I stay in the hospital until I fully recovered. She ran around daily buying me things and made me nutritious meals in various ways. So what if there was no blood? You still fractured it. Bone and muscle injuries take a long time to heal. You have to recover completely before you're allowed to leave the hospital. Sometimes, I worried she was working too hard. I hired a nurse and arranged for a housekeeper, but she refused every one of them. I don't trust others to do it. I can only feel at ease if I personally take care of everything for you. Back then, I believed that love could overcome all difficulties. I gave her my whole heart and love without reservation. It wasn't until the car accident, when she instinctively rushed towards her first love, Mark, that I finally realized, love can indeed overcome all difficulties. But between her and me, perhaps it wasn't love at all, just my one-sided affection. But that was too cruel for me. Snapping back to reality, I wiped the slightly dry tear streaks from my face. Pale, enduring the lingering trace of reluctance and pain in my heart, I typed a few words decisively. Okay, let's cancel the wedding. I didn't look at my phone again. Sitting on the hospital bed, feeling the emptiness in my left leg, I felt my heart was empty too. As dusk approached, I was listlessly eating chicken soup. The hospital room door was suddenly pushed open. Before I could react, Sarah rushed in and slapped me across the face. It completely stunned me. David, how despicable are you? I wondered why I couldn't find you. Turns out you came to Mark's room next door to pretend to be sick? You deliberately didn't help Mark, didn't you? Is that fun? You really think I'm stupid? You're perfectly fine. Mark didn't hit your car hard at all. You deliberately protected me just to make me feel guilty, didn't you? How can you be so calculating? And now you're talking about canceling the wedding? Haha, this playing hard to get / manipulative games of yours is getting really boring. I stared blankly as she ranted like a maniac. My heart sank with her, hitting rock bottom. I once thought her angry face was cute because she was defending me, but now, I was the one being yelled at. There was an unspeakable bitterness in my heart. Those sharp words, in the end, were aimed at me. Tired of yelling, she picked up the slightly hot chicken soup and threw it at me. You look absolutely disgusting. I opened my mouth, about to explain. But Mark suddenly came in, sitting in a wheelchair at the door. His face was dripping with cold sweat from the effort, frighteningly pale. I'm sorry, David, I just love Sally too much. I never meant to hurt you. I clearly pulled back when I hit the car. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. David, you called the police, right? Yes, I harmed you. I deserve to go to prison. But please, I beg you, be good to Sally, okay? Saying this, he braced himself and knelt down towards me with a thud. His still unhealed wound bled from the movement, making it look particularly horrifying. Sarah's eyes instantly turned red. She rushed over and hugged Mark. Then she turned to me, almost screaming hysterically. David, do you have to watch Mark die before you're satisfied? How can you be so malicious? You have no heart. You weren't injured, you didn't lose anything. Why call the police? If you're going to call the police, arrest me too. If anything happens to Mark, I will never forgive you. And I will never marry you. I was somewhat dazed. The pain in my left leg seemed to spread to my heart, making my face turn deathly pale. The discussions outside the door grew louder, mostly condemning me. But I couldn't hear any of it. Through the stubborn Sarah, I saw the past. Because I had a wealthy family background, I was kidnapped once. It was Sarah who came looking for me despite the danger. When the situation reached a stalemate, she voluntarily offered to be the hostage in my place. I refused, but she cried heartbrokenly, "David, I can't live without you. I have to save you. Listen to me, if anything happens to you, I won't live either." Later, she had a scar on her shoulder because of it. Whenever she thought back on it, she couldn't help but sigh. "Dave, this is the witness and symbol of our love. I love you, so I'm willing to share life and death with you." So sincere and genuine. But now, all that love was given to Mark. How ridiculous was this? She even assumed it was my fault without me calling the police or saying anything at all. This wasn't fair to me. My consciousness returned. I trembled and spoke calmly. "I'm sorry, it's my fault. I also won't call the police. But between us, it's completely over. Sarah, I don't want you anymore." After the situation stabilized, I returned home and stopped paying attention to Sarah and Mark. I changed my door code and replaced everything she had arranged. Everything related to her, I packed up and had someone send to her place. For half a month straight, I didn't contact her. It wasn't until our 5th anniversary that Sarah called me. "After so long, you must have realized your mistake. I'll come back to spend our 5th anniversary with you, Dave. Don't sulk for too long, men should be more generous. I've been taking care of Mark these past few days to atone for the mistakes you caused." I found it amusing, but there wasn't a ripple of emotion in my heart. I softly said, "Okay." She wasn't angered by my coldness, instead, her voice became even softer. "Dave, we'll get married when Mark recovers. I won't lie to you. You can understand, right? After all, we have 5 years of history between us. Otherwise, why would I still remember our anniversary today? I know my tone was too harsh before, please don't be mad at me, okay? 5 years. So she still remembered that we had 5 years together, but why did our 5 years not matter at all compared to Mark? But, maybe Sarah was telling the truth? Maybe she still loved me. Thinking this, a sliver of hope suddenly rose in my heart, but I waited at the restaurant until it got dark, and there wasn't a single sound from outside. My phone kept ringing. I numbly picked it up. There was no voice on the other end. Just as I was about to hang up, I heard sounds of intimacy. It was the same as what I heard on Sarah's birthday, when she claimed she was going to bathe stray dogs. I had been suspicious and angry before. But Sarah couldn't stand my suspicion and blew up at me. "Are you sick? I told you I was bathing dogs. Do you think I was bathing myself? Can you stop imagining things?" Worried that she was truly angry, I didn't press further. But the familiar sounds of intimacy came clearly through the phone today. Sarah's sweet, soft moans also entered my ears through the phone. "Mark, I love you so much, I truly, truly love you. I was only marrying David because I felt sorry for him. Don't be angry, okay? You're still the only one I love." My heart was completely shattered. The last trace of hope was crushed. It was a little funny. At this point, I actually thought she might change for the better. So ridiculous. The person on the other end seemed unsatisfied and made the sounds louder and louder. Finally, it was almost like they were pressed against the phone. "Sally, I love you too." I stumbled home in a daze and lay in bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. I just knew clearly. This was the last time I would be soft-hearted towards her. It wasn't until the clock was about to strike midnight that Sarah called me. Her breathing was slightly unsteady, forcing herself to sound calm. "Dave, I wasn't intentionally late today, but where are you? Why wouldn't you wait for me? Are you still going to sulk? You're being really childish. Get over here right now, immediately, in 10 minutes, and I'll pretend nothing happened, and the wedding is still on." Mark wasn't feeling well, so I took him to the hospital temporarily. "Don't be so petty, okay? Isn't he like this because of you?" I didn't say anything, just stared blankly at the ceiling. It wasn't until she grew impatient on the other end that I spoke, my voice hoarse. "Yeah, it's my fault. I won't come." I followed the doctor's advice and got a prosthetic leg. Every day, besides physical therapy, I was getting used to its presence. After that day, Sarah sent me many messages. I didn't reply to any of them. When everything was going smoothly, I saw Sarah kneeling on the ground at my door again the day I came home. Her eyes lit up when she saw me, and she instinctively reached out to take my arm. But I dodged her. "David, what are you doing? First, you changed the door code without a word, and now you're deliberately avoiding me and not replying to my messages? Haven't you had enough of playing hard to get / manipulative games? I've already decided not to be angry. Why are you still acting like this? Oh, I know. You're still mad because I took care of Mark and not you? But what does that count for? I was paying your debt. How could I take care of two people? Yes. How could one person take care of two people? And how could one person love two people at the same time? Even now. You still think I'm playing hard to get / manipulative games. My expression didn't change, and there was no ripple in my eyes. I was as cold towards her as if she were a stranger. A hint of panic flashed across Sarah's face, and her voice softened. David, can we stop fighting, okay? Didn't we agree to pick out wedding dresses together today? Didn't I come back to be with you today? What exactly do you want? Do you want me to kneel and apologize? The more she spoke, the more righteous she became. By the end, she looked me up and down, a hint of impatience in her eyes. Besides, nothing much happened to you. It's only right that I took care of Mark, isn't it? His wound still hasn't fully healed. Look at you, you're perfectly fine. Why are you being so aggressive? I didn't do anything wrong. And you've been blowing me off lately, not replying to messages or calling. What exactly do you want? If you don't want to get married, just say so sooner. Before this, we had indeed set today to pick out wedding dresses. I had arranged for the makeup artist, stylist, and photography team. Because I wanted the best for Sarah, every wedding dress was custom designed specifically for her. When she found out, she was touched for a long time. One dress is enough, why so many? Dave, you're so good to me, I don't even know how to love you back. It wasn't until yesterday, when they contacted me asking what time the shoot was today, that I remembered this and casually cancelled it. After all, I couldn't marry her pretending to be oblivious. My thoughts returned. Seeing that I wasn't speaking, Sarah's face grew even angrier. David, you're taking advantage of my love for you to do whatever you want. Do you think I can't live without you? I came to find you myself, what more do you want? Mark is still waiting for me at home. He can't manage without me. I only came out for you. If you make his wound worse, you'll be the one to blame. I couldn't help but laugh. The spot where my left leg was severed ached slightly from the tremor of laughter. But, I could bear it. I stared at her for 2 seconds, my heart surprisingly calm. Sarah, didn't we cancel the wedding a long time ago? I had someone send your things back to your place. There's no longer anything between us. I changed the door code because I don't want you anymore, and I don't love you anymore. A flicker of panic crossed Sarah's eyes. Her lips moved, but no words came out. It wasn't until I turned and coldly walked away to go home that she came back to her senses and grabbed my arm. David, how is that possible? How could you not love me? Stop joking. You've sulked enough, rein it in. You're being really boring. Alright, stop with this playing hard to get / manipulative games. It was my fault I didn't get there in time that day, okay? You didn't lose anything, let's call it even / we're even now. Stop making a fuss, I'm really tired. Tired? Probably tired from being with Mark, right? Besides, I wasn't joking. From the moment she abandoned me again and again, I stopped loving her. I ignored her, found a security guard to escort her away, and went home alone. Behind me, I could still hear Sarah's disbelieving curses. But, none of it mattered. Later that night, after I finally finished physical therapy and slept for 2 hours, Sarah called me again. Her tone was unfriendly. David, you don't want to be together anymore, do you? Why did you pile all my things at my place? Don't you know they'll get dirty? There's a limit to arguing, isn't there? Who's going to keep playing with you endlessly? You should really learn how obedient Mark is right now. I was so tired I could barely open my eyes. On the other end, not far from the phone, I heard another soft, gentle male voice. Sally, don't be angry. Move in with me and let me take care of you, okay? It was Mark. But I felt no emotion inside, only annoyance. I said coldly, my home isn't a package storage facility. Your things are naturally sent back to your place. If you weren't home and didn't receive them immediately, what does that have to do with me? Sarah, we broke up, we're not just arguing. A good ex is like a dead ex. There was a long silence on the other end after she heard my voice. It wasn't until I grew impatient and was about to hang up that Sarah's slightly weary voice finally came through. David, I don't want to argue, but don't keep saying, break up. We can argue, but don't escalate it to breaking up, okay? Aren't you just jealous that Mark can be by my side? Why don't you cling to me every day? Don't you have any issues? I almost laughed out of anger. I kept saying, break up. After Mark appeared, wasn't it her who threatened to break up constantly? I was threatened with a breakup because I didn't pick her up from work when I had a fever. I was threatened with a breakup because the meal I cooked wasn't to her liking. Even when I simply wanted her to interact less intimately with Mark, she would call me controlling and outdated ideas. Was all of this my fault? Sarah, why won't you look at yourself? Weren't you the one who went too far? David, can you stop talking in that tone? You're making Sally cry. Aren't you her boyfriend? Why don't you know how to cherish her at all? What kind of man are you? I let out a cold laugh. Listening to Mark's rambling on the other end, I found it utterly ridiculous. The other man, telling me how to act? Sarah, do you not understand plain language? What? She sounded confused. I told you to get lost, and Mark, you too. I wish you scumbag and manipulative cheat 100 years of happiness together. With that, I hung up the phone and blocked and deleted all contact information related to both of them. For 2 weeks straight, I deliberately avoided Sarah. Sometimes, I would see her waiting at the entrance of my neighborhood. She would even chase my car when she saw it. Even our regular driver, used to our routine, would hesitantly ask. But I refused them all, refused to meet, refused to be soft-hearted. If we were breaking up, let's do it completely. The cost of one left leg couldn't be settled by just arguing and giving each other the cold shoulder for a few days. I needed to wake up. It wasn't until one day after physical therapy, when I was leaning against the wall wiping sweat, that Sarah found me. She had lost a little weight, and there were dark circles under her eyes. Seeing me, her face was full of grievance, and her eyes immediately turned red. She reached out and hugged me, her tears wetting my clothes. Dave, why aren't you looking for me? You weren't like this before. Why won't you see me or answer my calls? I've missed you so much these past few days. Please stop avoiding me, okay? I won't look for Mark anymore, and I won't contact him. I'll only love you from now on, okay? Please don't ignore me, I'm scared. She was acting like a fragile, innocent victim. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying, looking so pitiful. If it were before, I would have hugged her and comforted her without hesitation. Even if she wanted the stars from the sky, I would try to find a way to pluck them. But after everything, I truly couldn't do it anymore. I found her dirty. I calmly pushed her away. Seeing her stunned expression, my eyes were filled with indifference. We've already broken up. How many times do I have to say it? Wasn't causing me to lose a leg enough? Do I have to die before you'll leave me alone? Please, Sarah, let me go. I couldn't possibly sacrifice my life for her, could I? My eyes held mockery. Seeing her frozen in place, her hands suspended in the air, her eyes filled with confusion. Yes. She had no idea. She thought I was fine, so she felt justified in taking care of and loving someone else. But Sarah, I also lost a leg. Why should your love require me to pay the price? I pulled up my left pant leg, exposing the cold, mechanical leg to Sarah. Watching her collapse in despair, I said each word clearly. Did you see? Because you deliberately told 911 there was no one in the car during that accident, my rescue was delayed, and I lost a leg. Are you satisfied? I loved you for so many years. I gave you everything you wanted. I thought you would have a little softness in your heart for me, but you resolutely abandoned my life. Didn't you think about what would happen if the car exploded? Sarah, let me go. I've truly had enough. By the end, my eyes were also bloodshot. If only she had found me a little earlier, even if she had just told the police I was still in the car before she left. I wouldn't be like this. How could I possibly continue to love her without expecting anything in return? I had long since lost enough hope. She completely broke down, clutching her head, trembling uncontrollably, almost crying herself hoarse. No, it's not true. I didn't mean to, Dave, I really didn't mean to. Mark was bleeding so much, I was just too scared. Will you forgive me, okay? I love you. I'll take care of you for my whole life, I won't leave you. Please don't leave me, okay? I'm begging you. Looking at her tears, my heart held only mockery. Can a simple, I didn't mean to, negate everything? What if I had died that day? Could a simple, I'm sorry, negate everything? Love me? Sorry, your love is too noble, I cannot bear it. How ridiculous. Get out. Sarah, I don't want to see you again. I went to London and started a new round of rehabilitation therapy there. Before boarding the plane, Sarah somehow found me. Crying heartbreakingly. Dave, please don't go, okay? Please don't leave me, okay? I really can't live without you. It was my fault, you caused me to harm you. Please give me a chance to make it up to you, okay? Mark's eyes showed displeasure, but he still put on a concerned act. He kindly put his arm around Sarah and tried to persuade me. Yes, David, you're about to get married, just forgive Sally. I'll leave and won't bother your lives anymore. Then, he looked down at Sarah's abdomen. His eyes were full of reluctance. I didn't say anything, watching the two of them perform coldly. Sarah cried until she was exhausted, almost kneeling on the ground, clutching the hem of my clothes humbly. Dave, please give me another chance, okay? Let me be with you, okay? I will love you properly, I promise I will never hurt you again. The winter in coastal city was terribly cold. The airport floor was even colder. Sarah's lips turned pale and trembled after a short while, but I still didn't soften. I turned and left. No matter how hard she cried behind me, I continued, limping, onto the plane. It wasn't until I arrived in London that I heard from my assistant that Sarah had miscarried. When she was taken to the hospital, the lower half of her body was soaked in blood. Mr. Sterling, the child was yours after all. I shook my head and scoffed. That child was Mark's. I had always respected Sarah, maintaining my principle of not touching her before marriage. But it seemed she didn't have that principle. It was quite laughable. The doctor developed a new treatment plan for me. The first 3 days went generally well, apart from occasionally receiving junk messages from Sarah and calls from different numbers. Everything else was smooth. When the first snow fell in London this year, I saw Sarah at my doorstep again. I don't know how long she had been kneeling there, her face was frozen blue. But when she saw me, she still managed to smile. Dave, I can explain. That child was just an accident because I drank too much after arguing with you. The person I love has always been you. I never intended to like anyone else. My expression remained unchanged. Her face stiffened, and she started to laugh, tears streaming down her face. She stepped forward somewhat pleadingly, trying to take my hand, but I avoided her again. Dave, don't you feel sorry for me anymore? Didn't you love me the most? Please don't ignore me, okay? I truly can't live without you. I thought I liked Mark too, but after all this time, I really couldn't deceive myself. I have always loved you so much. I was just too scared to admit it. Please give me a chance, okay, Dave? Can we start over? Dave, we have so many years of history between us. Are you going to give up just like that? Her face grew paler as she spoke. Having miscarried less than 3 days ago, I couldn't understand why she insisted on flying to London. Nor did I want to dwell on how long she had searched. If this sincerity and love had come earlier, where would we be? But it was already too late. I took a deep breath and didn't look at her again. I shook my head to myself, my voice growing colder. So what? You weren't even sure if I was injured, but you dismissed my reason for being in the hospital. So you could be affectionate with Mark while I was despairing over losing my leg. You could deceive and curse me repeatedly while I was doing physical therapy, saying you were bathing dogs. Sarah, I knew all along. You weren't there when I was suffering. Does coming now have any meaning? I stopped loving you a long time ago. Let's just say I must have been blind about everything in the past. My left leg, consider it compensation for her. Now that I've hit the wall enough times and suffered enough/learned my lesson the hard way, I've sobered up. She was completely broken. But she stubbornly stood at my doorstep, refusing to leave. Shivering from the cold, she just hugged herself and blew on her hands to warm up. No matter how my housekeeper or assistant tried to persuade me, this time I didn't soften. I ignored her, ignoring her daily squatting at my doorstep before dawn, ignoring the person herself. Especially the flowers she liked to bring every day, I had someone throw them all away. I began to adapt to the prosthetic leg, and walking became normal again. Company affairs couldn't wait. Sterling Corp, which I founded myself, couldn't collapse just because I lost a leg. I didn't see Sarah for a long time after that. My gloomy mood also gradually improved. Regarding the accident, I didn't believe it was just an accident, nor did I believe I lost a leg simply because Mark rear-ended me. After all, if I hadn't been quick-wit, I would have lost my life. Therefore, I arranged for a thorough investigation, leaving no stone unturned, including everyone who was there that day and the people and places Mark had been in contact with. I had just finished a meeting and was going downstairs when I saw Sarah causing a scene at the front desk. I felt a wave of annoyance. I'm David's fiancée. Why won't you let me up? Seeing me, Sarah's face was full of grievance. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying, and her face still held a trace of sickly paleness. Dave, please don't be so cruel, okay? Just give me one chance, even if it's just to get a little closer to you. I really want to make up for the past. I don't believe that with how much we loved each other, you can just stop loving me. I don't believe it. Mark walked in quickly from outside the building. He put his arm around Sarah and looked at me angrily. David, are you even human? How can you treat Sally like this? She didn't take care of herself for your sake. She might not be able to have children in the future. How can you still be so cold? Do you have no heart? Was all your talk of loving her fake? After Mark finished speaking, the people around started whispering. Some who knew the truth immediately exposed their flimsy lies. I rubbed my temples, feeling tired. I looked at Mark impatiently and scoffed. Perfect timing. You tampered with my car during the accident, didn't you? To kill me, swallow my shares, and take my place at Sterling Corp? Mark, who the hell do you think you are? As soon as I finished speaking, a group of police officers surged through the door. Before Mark could even struggle, he was smoothly taken away. As he left, he was still arguing. David, you're slandering me. You just can't stand Sally loving me, so you're deliberately framing me. I didn't do anything. But I didn't care. With all the human and physical evidence I had, the law wouldn't let any killer get away. Sarah, left standing there, was completely dumbfounded. She stared blankly as Mark was arrested, tears streaming from her eyes. Dave, didn't you say you wouldn't call the police? Why did you go back on your word? Mark didn't do anything wrong, he just loved me too much and didn't want me to get married. Do you hate me that much? Do you have to drive me to ruin? Why are you doing this? I laughed in anger. For a moment, I couldn't understand how I could have ever fallen for someone like this. I must have been blind. I ignored her and turned to go back to my office. It wasn't until Mark's sentence came down and he was sentenced that Sarah finally woke up. She blocked my way home after work, crying and running after my car. While chasing, she was screaming, "Dave, I was wrong, it was all my fault. I caused you to be harmed. Please don't leave me, okay? I really know I was wrong." She changed tactics. She started changing her strategy. Instead of tearful pleading, she wore the dress I used to love seeing her in and acted like a fragile, innocent victim. When I found out, the matter was already trending on social media. To beg for my forgiveness, she knelt at the company entrance, mumbling, "I know I was wrong," all day long. Because of this, I was trending, being cursed online. Netizens who didn't know the full story started attacking me and boycotting Sterling Corp's products. Scumbag. Making his girlfriend kneel at the company entrance to apologize to him? I won't buy Sterling Corp products again. From what I know, this girl miscarried not long ago. Could it be due to domestic violence from David? Girl, wake up. I even saw this girl at Mount Destiny Chapel. She went to hang a prayer ribbon at Mount Destiny Chapel for her boyfriend. Following the comments was a video of Sarah at Mount Destiny Chapel. Mount Destiny Chapel is said to be very powerful / has a strong legend, but it requires sincerity. Typically, the more steadfast and devoted partner in a relationship will complete the challenging hike up the mountain carrying a symbolic weight and then spend a full 24 hours kneeling at the chapel altar, continuously praying and seeking blessings, hoping for a blessed union / enduring relationship that won't break. In the video, Sarah did exactly that. Someone even live-streamed next to her, documenting the entire process, especially the hike up the mountain path, which was steep and winding, requiring her to carry weight. Even men struggled, but she was stumbling and swaying, falling countless times along the way. Despite falling until her face was bruised and swollen, she still persisted and climbed to the summit. The scene of her kneeling at the chapel altar was called the best lover by all netizens. Oh my God. She loves him so much. Hurry and clear up any misunderstandings. Let the lovers reunite. David. Go pick her up. You two must be together forever. Where can you find such a good girl? Please assign her to me. The comment section had both good and bad opinions. But I remained unmoved, even wanting to laugh. If they knew Sarah abandoned me during the car accident, then they would understand why I was so stubbornly unwilling to take her back. The next day, Sarah came to find me again. She was covered in mud, her eyes shining brightly as she looked at me. She presented me with the blessed medallion from the chapel she had obtained, as if offering a treasure. Dave, please don't be angry, okay? We've been through so many hardships together, but that shouldn't be the reason we break up. I believe as long as we love each other, we can overcome any difficulty. Please give me a chance to love you properly, okay? I don't want to give up on our relationship like this. You must still love me, and I won't have anything to do with anyone else in the future. Please forgive me this time, okay? I was just deceived / tricked. I had no idea Mark would harm you, and I had no idea you were injured. He kept misleading me and brainwashing me into thinking you were fine. What happened before wasn't my true intention / I didn't mean it, but can a simple, was deceived / tricked. Can a simple, it wasn't my true intention / I didn't mean it, negate everything? Can the leg I lost come back? It can't. It's like spilled water, you can't pick it back up. No. Sarah, if you loved me, you wouldn't have helped someone else without knowing the truth. Don't come looking for me anymore, and stop making these useless efforts. I've been disappointed enough. I don't love you anymore, but you love me now. Isn't that funny? What medallion, what chapel, it's all useless to me. Did you think about me during the nights you were cheating with Mark? We can never go back. With that, I threw the medallion on the ground right in front of her. It instantly shattered into pieces, impossible to put back together. Sterling Corp issued a public statement clarifying everything. People who knew the truth also spread Sarah's story. Suddenly, public opinion online reversed. Sarah faced even worse attacks and curses. For a long time, I didn't see her again. Nor did I hear any news about her. As for that medallion, my assistant told me Sarah picked up the pieces while crying. Her hands were covered in cuts, she was shaking and crying uncontrollably, but she never let go of it. Spring passed, autumn came, another winter arrived. I had completely adapted to the prosthetic leg. But when wearing the prosthetic leg during this season, my leg still felt terribly cold. While walking, I met Sarah, whom I hadn't seen in a long time. I heard she had sold her property, keeping only everything related to me. When she couldn't see me, she would go to the park every day with her easel to paint. On good days, she would remember me and paint a portrait that looked about 80% like me. On bad days, she would paint until dark and still not produce anything. She had lost a lot of weight. Her eyes were deeply sunken, and her cheekbones looked somewhat prominent. The clothes that used to fit her well now hung loosely. She hadn't gotten up for a long time. Seeing me, a smile spread across her lips. There was no longer obsession, no longer madness in her eyes. Around her neck, she wore the blessed medallion from the chapel, shattered into 4 pieces, seemingly pieced back together by her. Dave, it's really been a long time. I nodded, wanting to leave, but she suddenly called out to me. I'm sorry, Dave, everything in the past was my fault. I caused you to be harmed. I also learned the truth about your leg from a doctor. It was me who harmed you. I didn't say a word, and she didn't get angry. She casually pulled up her pant leg, revealing the empty space where her leg should have been. I'm the same as you now. I owe you a left leg, and I'll pay you back with both of mine. Dave, please don't hate me anymore, okay? As she spoke, her eyes reddened slightly. Looking at me with a fragile expression, she choked out the words. I truly wanted to have a future with you. I truly, truly wanted to continue with you. I thought about giving up for so long, but I couldn't. I truly love you so much. Dave, you haven't started a new relationship all this time either, have you? Are you waiting for me? Can you give me a chance? Can we start over? I don't want to miss you again. I pursed my lips and shook my head. Seeing her broken leg, I felt an emotion I couldn't describe. There was hate and resentment, but no sense of satisfaction. What use was this doing to herself? This wasn't a free pass to forgiveness, nor could I possibly start over with her because of this. Hitting the wall once was enough. After some thought, I finally spoke. Sarah, let's not see each other anymore. I had heard about her broken legs a long time ago. I heard people in the executive office discussing it. They said she got drunk and ran onto the highway in a frenzy, shouting my name. Dave, don't leave me. Dave, if I become like you, will you forgive me? Dave, please don't leave me, okay? After her legs were broken, she didn't demand compensation and opted for a settlement, not requiring the driver to go to prison. Even as they took her to the hospital, she was muttering. There was someone else in the car, another person. Please save Dave, I'm begging you. When I heard about it, I sighed with melancholy. But I never expected to see her with broken legs so soon. I admit. For a moment, I felt happy. But then, I felt it wasn't necessary. Sarah hadn't reined herself in, she was becoming more and more extreme. My thoughts returned. I straightened my clothes and turned to leave. Leaving Sarah sitting alone, crying and shouting after me. Dave, why won't you even give me a chance to see you? Why? Not seeing each other is the best outcome for us. With enough time, I can slowly forget all of this. Loved and hated, eventually turn into nothing / fade away. Sarah, we're completely call it even / we're even now. That year, when I was 38, I was still unmarried. My friends, and the assistants who had worked with me for half their lives, all had happy families. I didn't reply. Some people wondered if I was still thinking about her. So many girls pursue you, young ones, mature ones, all kinds. They don't mind your broken leg, why don't you start over? Are you still thinking about Sarah? I smiled, took a sip of wine, and shook my head. It wasn't until I returned home and lay alone in the empty room that I had a moment to breathe. I won't deny that once bitten, twice shy, nor will I deny that I struggled with self-doubt and despair because of my broken leg. But after all these years, I still haven't met anyone who can make me open my heart. So, I'll just be alone. It's better than settling, or being with someone I don't love and torturing each other. One day, love will quietly arrive. If it doesn't, that's fine too.